Well, I guess another way you can live life without worries is taking care of your health. And that's why we saw the establishment of Nigeria's new Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Training Institute. The federal government says it's to empower Nigerians, and they've advanced about 22 new large-scale health sector manufacturing projects funded by $5.5 billion in private sector capital. Of course, this is being led by the Ministry of Health. But at the top of it directly is a national coordinator presidential initiative on unlocking healthcare value chain, Dr. Abdul Mukhtar. He joins us from Abuja studio. Dr. Mukhtar, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Great. So tell us about this, because especially since we had the exit of multinationals in the health sector, and we've seen the increase, or healthcare inflation has more than doubled. A lot of people have been talking about domestic manufacturing, and we've heard announcement about that. Now we're seeing there's going to be an institute to train the personnel to deal with what. Paint the full picture for us, what we can expect in this aspect of domestic manufacturing.
Okay, thank you. So, like you said, we are leading this initiative called the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain, which was established by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in October of 2023, with three key objectives. The first objective is, of course, to increase the share of locally manufactured products in Nigeria. When you look at it across all product lines, if you look at medicines, for example, mostly we import generics, and we import about 70% of the generics that we use in this country. In terms of vaccines, we import actually 100% of the vaccines that we use in this country. In terms of medical devices like test kits, we import about 98%. This is not tenable for a country of 230 million people. We need to have a minimal level of security in people. We need to have a minimal level of security of supply of these commodities. What happened during COVID when countries became nationalistic and there was just really a shutdown of the import of some of these essential products into our countries. So to address that, the initiative was set up, and the first pillar or the first mandate from the president is for us to actually reverse those numbers to increase the share of locally manufactured products. The goal on the aggregate is that by the year 2030, we want to be able to import only about 30% of the healthcare products that we use instead of the 70% that we import now. Now, to be clear, all countries in the world import, some percentage of this. But again, the idea is to be able to provide, at least for essential medicines and medical equipment, and supply, a minimum that will guarantee our security for healthcare. And also, in the long term, when you produce locally, you have many other benefits. Of course, you create jobs, you acquire technology and know-how and knowledge, but also, you'll be able to crash down prices in the long run. So this is essentially what we want to do. The second objective of this is also to reduce the share of outbound medical tourism. Every year, Nigerians spend about $2 billion on average for outbound medical tourism. So the idea is to build the necessary quality infrastructure for healthcare, hospital facilities, diagnostic facilities, to be able to retain people here, but even more so, attract people from other countries. So this is really what the initiative is about, and it's also tied within a broader healthcare strategy under the Renewed Hope investment renewal strategy for healthcare that is being led by the Honorable Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate. And so this is what we are trying to do, to basically link all of the different pillars of the healthcare strategy to unlocking the healthcare value chain so that we can create jobs, we can attract foreign direct investment, but also mobilize local resources internally.
Yeah, and we see that this has been gaining attention already, because I see recently there was €1 billion from the European Investment Bank and additional $1 billion from Afrexim, and all of this is to incentivize healthcare value chain localization. I wonder if we can get because we hear all this money, we hear, all the plans, but are there timelines, something to make it realistic? I know you said by 2030 we expect that we would only import about 30% of what we need in the health sector, but it has to be a journey getting to 2030, even though 2030 is not so far away.
Yeah, absolutely, and an excellent question. So we are already executing on this mandate. And to talk about some specific issues that you said, the way we try to implement this is two things. Number one, and you touch on both of them. Number one is really to build an ecosystem. An ecosystem means, everything that you need for local manufacturing to happen. There are a lot of challenges in local manufacturing of all products, but with specific reference to healthcare, is issues around policies and regulations, is issues around infrastructure, is issues around human capital, is issues around market access, access to finance. So what we're trying to do in this presidential initiative is to systematically address each of these. Now, you talk about the training institute. That training institute is supposed to address one of those key challenges that we see in the local manufacturing of pharmaceuticals and healthcare products, which is the human capital. So you talk about this academy, the Empower Academy, Manufacturing Academy that we are going to establish in partnership with Empower Swiss, which is a global institution for training in the biosciences area, where we also are looking to establish this. So the timeline for that, for example, the Empower is actually 1 year. Within 1 year, we'll have a full-fledged manufacturing academy for local manufacturing in Nigeria. In the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to establish a virtual training platform. We've already developed the curriculum. We've already attracted the knowledge and the things that we need. This will be rolled online across Nigeria. The second phase, which is from the 3rd month to maybe another 3 months, is to establish what we call training pods, where we'll have simulation facilities where you actually have machines and technology where people can actually go and train. And then the last phase is actually to establish physical structures in conjunction with existing universities. Medical knowledge changes so fast, and people go to school to study medicine, to study pharmacy for 4 or 5 years, and related sciences. At the end of the day, by the time they finish, the technology and the knowledge has evolved. So what we are trying to do, this is going to be like a finishing school, where very specific targeted training will be issued. And the industry is very excited about this because you know what their needs are. We'll train the industry, but we'll also support the regulators like NAFDAC, like the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria in doing that. So that is one. And again, I talk about ecosystem. There is also the issues around policies. As you know, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed an executive order last year, which is actually being implemented as we speak, to provide fiscal incentives, including zero duty, zero VAT for importing equipment and raw materials for local production of healthcare products. This is very important. The second provision in the executive order is the provision to shape the market, through the establishment of pool procurement mechanisms, framework contracts, and volume guarantees. So that's on the one hand. And the second issue that you talk about, which is the financing. So again, some of these manufacturers need all sort of finances. So what we've been doing is to mobilize resources that have multiple instruments that will serve the needs across the industry. Some companies are big, some are small, some need debt, some need equity, some need guarantees, some just need technical assistance. So just talking to financial institutions, the development finance institutions, but also other related institutions, we are mobilizing a pool of this money. So the 1 billion from Exim Bank and the 1 billion euro from the European Investment Bank, for example, these are pools of money that are available, that are ready for people to tap into, provided you have a good, feasible, bankable business plan. This money is available. So our commitment to Nigerians is, look, if you have a good business, private sector business in healthcare that makes sense, you will be supported. You'll be supported in terms of the policies and the regulations that we are putting in place. So you will have the right enabling environment to do your business. But also equally important, you will be supported in terms of access to the finance that you need to be able to make investments and expand capacity or establish new.
Yeah, Dr. Mukta, very interesting, and I really appreciate that, you gave those timelines, what to expect. I think that's one of the things that we miss when we discuss plans and all of that. But and interesting that you said the funds are available, and even the executive order. But I spoke to someone from, the ecosystem some time ago about especially that executive order, and he did complain about the limitation of it. So it's not open to just anyone. I think it's just for a select group. And that, they say, is militating the impact that it would have had. And even for the fund that you say is available, how open and accessible is it? Is it just any business that can prove that they're existing and doing well? Or what about those bureaucracy in accessing those funds? These are worries that they have.
Yeah, these are excellent questions. And just to be clear, we talk to the industry almost every day. The Honorable Minister of Health, established this group called the Pharmaceutical Consultative Forum, where we consult with the industry. Every quarter we meet in different places in Nigeria to hear from them. And this is also we get in feedback. So we know what the industry is thinking and what the key issues are. So that's very important. Secondly, with regards to the executive order, the industry is actually part of the development of the executive order. So when the even think through to come up with the idea about the executive order, we worked with the industry. But most importantly, when we are developing, after the president signed, we developed, he charged us to develop an implementation framework. Again, the industry represented by the PG-MAN, Pharmaceutical Group of the Manufacturers Association, Pharmaceutical Group, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. They are part of the development of that framework. No order or no policy is perfect. So the idea is, as you test it, you see where the issues are, where problems are, and you try to adjust. So yes, this is not for everyone. You cannot just wake up today and say, look, I want to establish, I have an idea, I want to establish a manufacturing facility tomorrow, and I want to bring equipment and raw materials, and you give me zero duty, zero VAT. You have to prove, first of all, this is a regulated industry, so NAFDAC, the regulator will have to certify that you indeed are a manufacturer, that you indeed have the right facilities to do this. And when all of that is established, then you will have access. So yes, we have a list. So what we have is a list of raw materials and equipment that are exempted under this order, about 773 of them. But we also have a list of the manufacturers, again, established and certified by the regulator. It's not the kind of industry where anybody can just wake up today and say, look, I want to manufacture, and then you basically get these incentives. But when the Honorable Minister of Finance conveyed this order, the implementation framework to customs, in his letter, and the industry is aware of this, there is a very clear paragraph that says this will be updated regularly. So if you are a manufacturer today and you are interested and your name is not on that list, once you finish all the regulatory processes with NAFDAC and you're ready to begin establishing your factory or production, your name and the name of your company will be included in that executive order, and you'll be able to access those incentives. So this is very clear. Second, on the financing, yes, financing is there, is available. But again, these are also institutions, development finance, these are finance institutions. So your project, your business has to make sense. It has to be feasible. It has to be bankable. Once that is there, then I commit, and we are promising Nigerians that once you have a bankable and feasible project, then you will be able to access those finances. Now, we in the presidential initiative, one of the things that we try to do is to work again with project owners and sponsors to try to make them to that bankability to be feasible. We know that it's not an easy process, but we are ready and willing, and we actually have been doing that to hold hands, to guide, to support in doing all the things that are necessary for any business to be bankable or to be feasible to access those funds. This week, we spent a lot of time this week hosting the European Investment Bank that is actually visiting Nigeria, and as we speak today, they're actually in Lagos meeting with some of the pipeline companies that we've identified. These companies, we have about 75 very solid businesses in our pipeline that different financial institutions are looking at. Again, EIB, they came from Brussels. They are here. We met in Abuja the last 2 days. Today they're in Lagos talking to a number of companies, and I know, and I don't want to mention.
All right, yeah, you don't have to mention Dr.
They are on the verge of making investment into these companies.
Okay, all right, good news, good news. Thank you so much.
Yes.
For giving us
the point is, this is hard work. Yeah, this is hard work. Yeah.
All right, you wanted to say something, Dr. Mukhtar?
No, I was going to say, look, this is hard work. It's it's not manufacturing in itself is hard work, right? And we know that in addition to that, you have people have to deal, organizations, private sector have to deal with all these other challenges. But we are willing, and that's really precisely why His Excellency President Tinubu established this initiative to make sure that people, organizations are supported. Businesses are supported. And as you know, I don't know whether I'm sure you are aware, on Monday, His Excellency, Mr. President, made a very bold declaration that all procurement, public procurement going forward, will be done from local companies. And this is across all sectors. Even before that, this is what we've been actually trying to do in the health sector. And now we are glad that this has been extended across all sectors because, once you do that, and I talk about shaping the market, this is really a guarantee
all right,
that
Dr.
if you
Mukhtar.
produce their incentives, you'll be supported.
All right, Dr. Mukhtar, we really have to go. But, I mean, interesting information you've given us so far. And I guess it could give a bit of hope, that we would see the results, and those funds are really available if you qualify. But thank you so much. And wish you, it's hard work, but we wish you more hard work with results. The National Coordinator, Presidential Initiative on Unlocking Healthcare Value Chain, Dr. Abdul Mukhtar, thank you for your time. We hope to get you back on the program, to get those other parts we were able to touch on today.
Thank you. Happy to come back.
All right. Let's take a short commercial break. We'll be back. You want to hear about this next conversation, I tell you, because you have a phone, and it's very important to you that is working well. Well, that's the next conversation. Please stay with us.